Tributes are pouring in for acclaimed filmmaker and American journalist Brent Renaud, the first foreign journalist to be killed in the Ukrainian war. Renaud had long covered war zones, reporting from Afghanistan, Iraq, Haiti. His accolades were many, earning a Peabody Award, as well as 2 DuPont Awards for his work documenting political turmoil, violence, and, as he was doing in Ukraine, documenting refugees around the globe. Paul Gerke live outside the New York Times building, just one of the many places that Renaud worked in his career. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning, Adrienne. The 50-year-old was in Ukraine working on a Times Studios piece about the global refugee crisis. Alongside colleague Juan Arredondo, he was ambushed by Russian forces while trying to cross a bridge into Irpin. In the ensuing chaos, those two got split up. Juan was taken to a hospital in nearby Kyiv, where he breathlessly explained what had just transpired without knowing the fate of his friend.
And we crossed the checkpoint and they start shooting at us. So the driver turned around and they kept shooting. It's 2 of us. My friend is Brent Renaud, and he's been shot and left behind.
From a hospital bed in Kyiv, photojournalist Juan Arredondo described the frantic moments leading up to Brent Renaud's death. Juan was shot in the back. He believes Brent was shot in the neck. The chief of police in Kyiv later confirmed Renaud's death, publishing a picture of his old New York Times credential.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
The 2 were filming refugees departing war-torn Irpin, which has now banned journalists for their own protection. Renaud was familiar with working in conflict zones, from Iraq and Afghanistan to Egypt and Libya. He won a Peabody Award with his brother Craig for Last Chance High, an HBO series about a school for at-risk kids in Chicago. The tandem also founded the Little Rock Film Festival in their hometown. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson offered condolences on Twitter and remembered Brent for his great contributions to the culture and arts in Arkansas.
Brent had a very prolific career. His work appeared all over the place: NBC, PBS, Vice, HBO, and the New York Times. He's survived by his brother, his brother's wife, and nephew. Adrienne.
Thank you to you, Paul. And first on NewsNation, Jeff Newton, a friend of Brent Renaud, spoke with us last hour. Take a look.
He's one of those kind of people who just really believed in the whole process of telling stories about the human condition. He always was focused on the stories of people who were affected. He very seldom was ever focused on bombs that were, dropped between soldiers, or he was really focusing on people who were affected. That's why he was so passionate about covering refugee stories. That's why he's so passionate about covering the stories you mentioned, like the one in Chicago, or, homeless shelters for teens in New Orleans. And I think that it's just really important to sort of keep that in perspective. That was pretty much how he was.
Jeff told us that he and Brent traveled around the world together. He last spoke to his friend just before he left for Poland. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.